There is an enormous diversity of patterns and compositions in Islamic art and architecture. Across the centuries, across the regions, you see hundreds of different compositions. Some of them look similar, some of them look different. In this course, in the lectures in this course, you will see many examples of this. What I want to show in this particular lecture that we're looking at now is some of the diversity and some of the highlights that you can find in Islamic art and architecture. And the examples that I've chosen are only a small handful of what is out there, of course. Many of the things that are still with us now are masterpieces quite often. But what I've chosen now is also chosen to show you how and why compositions are different and what constitutes this enormous diversity of geometrical compositions. If you consider that there are really three variables that are a factor in any object or any composition that you see. The first variable is the geometrical pattern. There are hundreds of geometrical patterns. If you consider the pattern as being just the line drawing without anything else, that's the first variable. And in this course we'll be making a few of these patterns. The second variable is the material that has been used to make the composition. It could be stone, metal, wood, leather, paper, ceramic. There's an enormous range of materials that have been used. Sometimes that's determined by what is available to the craftsman in the particular part of the world where he is working. So material is the second variable. And the third variable is the way a geometrical pattern is embellished. There is not a single composition in Islamic art and architecture that is just a line drawing. It's just a geometrical pattern consisting of lines. There's always something that has been done with the geometrical pattern to make it more beautiful. So the third variable is the way a pattern is embellished. And these all contribute to what makes a composition beautiful, what makes a composition different, what makes a composition specific to a particular time and a place. And some of the examples that I've shown here in this lecture amply show that rich diversity of patterns. So what I hope that you will learn in this course is an appreciation of the enormous variety of compositions and patterns, but also the skill of the craftsmen who made these patterns. It's very tempting sometimes when you look at a geometrical composition or any work of art to of course to marvel at the beauty of it, but there's a lot we can learn specifically in Islamic geometric design of the creative processes, of the way craftsmen made their patterns, the way they embellished their patterns, why they choose to do it in one particular way and not in another particular way. It's interesting to reflect on this when we look at the patterns and the compositions that are shown in the lectures here. So I hope this little selection of photos inspires you. I hope it sets you up nicely for the lectures that are starting after this one. Remember that what characterizes all these compositions that we see is that craftsmen were creative. They weren't just repeating patterns, they were quite often trying to do something new with the patterns. New patterns, new ways of embellishing them, presenting something familiar in a different way. That's really been the creative ethos of craftsmen in the Islamic world for centuries, and that's also what learn Islamic geometric design. So keep that in mind. It's not just about copying a pattern, it's also what can you put in there personally, what can you do to make it your own, what can you do with a pattern or with a composition that satisfies your personal creativity. It's important to allow yourself to develop that creativity. It means that you will never be bored with what Islamic geometric design has to offer you, because there's always new avenues for you to discover ways to be creative, to make a particular pattern in a new way, to develop something new. That's what all artists want to achieve after all.